Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. Today is May 27, 2025. The time is now 6 p.m. Welcome to the Central Unified School District Office, Room 13. As we call the meeting to order, let the attendance show we are currently missing Vice President Carrillo. Everyone else is in attendance. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion by Trustee Kerfan. Second. I heard Trustee Kirk first. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 6-0. And with that, do we have any comments from the public on any closed session items?
President Singh, I have none at this time.
And PIO Burrows?
We have no callers at this time. We should wait about 15 seconds.
Sounds good.
Board President, 30 seconds have passed and there's no callers at this time.
Thank you. And with that, we will move to closed session and reconvene back in open at 7 p.m. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. The time is 7:01. Welcome to our meeting here at the district office on May 27th, 2025. A report out from items from closed session. We had Trustee Carrillo joining us at 6:15 p.m. On item E2, the board took action in a unanimous vote of 7-0. On item E3, the board took unanimous action to approve the item 7-0. On item E3, the board took unanimous approval of item E3 7-0. On item E6, the board took action to approve the tentative agreement of OAH number 202-505-0428. The vote was 7-0. On item E7, the board took action to approve, took action to deny the litigation claim unanimously 7-0. And with that, I'll ask Vice President Carrillo to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Those of you sitting, please.
Thank you, Vice President Carrillo. Next, may I ask Senor Lazo and Sir Don Nicolontkor to join us and share about our community engagement information.
Good evening. If you wish to address the board, please call 559-276-3150 or fill out a request form provided on the table near the entrance and submit it to the clerk of the board prior to the meeting. If you wish to speak on an item on the agenda, please do so when that item is called. If you wish to speak on an item not on the agenda, you may speak during the public comment section of the agenda. Si desea dirigirse a la mesa directiva, llame al número 559-276-3150 o complete un formulario de solicitud provisto en la mesa cerca de la entrada y preséntelo al secretario de la mesa directiva antes de la reunión. Se permitirán comentarios públicos relacionados con los temas de la agenda cuando se llame el tema. Los comentarios públicos sobre un tema que no está en la agenda se permitirán durante la sección de comentarios públicos de la agenda. The district welcomes other language speakers to the board meetings. Anyone planning to attend and needing an interpreter for a language other than Spanish should call 559-274-4700, extension 10150, by noon on the Friday preceding the board meeting or at least 48 hours in advance of the meeting so arrangements can be made for an interpreter. El distrito da la bienvenida a las personas que hablan otros idiomas a las reuniones de la mesa directiva. Cualquier persona que planifique asistir y necesite un intérprete para un idioma que no sea español, llame al 559-274-4700, extensión 10150, el viernes antes de la reunión y antes del mediodía, o por lo menos 48 horas antes de la reunión para poder hacer los arreglos para la interpretación. Thank you.
Thank you.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ। ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੋਰਡ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਬੋਧਿਤ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ 559-276-3150 ਤੇ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਜਾਂ ਐਂਟਰੀ ਦਰਵਾਜ਼ੇ ਦੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਟੇਬਲ ਤੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਗਏ ਇੱਕ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਫਾਰਮ ਨੂੰ ਭਰੋ ਅਤੇ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਬੋਰਡ ਦੇ ਕਲਰਕ ਕੋਲ ਜਮ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰਵਾ ਦਿਓ। ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਏਜੰਡੇ ਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਤੇ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਏਜੰਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਆਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਸਾਂਝੇ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਏਜੰਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਤੇ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਏਜੰਡੇ ਦੇ ਜਨਤਕ ਟਿੱਪਣੀ ਸੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਅਜਿਹਾ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸਾਡਾ ਜ਼ਿਲ੍ਹਾ ਬੋਰਡ ਦੀਆਂ ਮੀਟਿੰਗਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਰ ਭਾਸ਼ਾਵਾਂ ਬੋਲਣ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਜੇਕਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਇਸ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਗ ਲੈਣ ਦੀ ਯੋਜਨਾ ਬਣਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਸਪੈਨਿਸ਼ ਜਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਭਾਸ਼ਾ ਦੇ ਟਰਾਂਸਲੇਟਰ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਬੋਰਡ ਦੀ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸ਼ੁੱਕਰਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਦੁਪਹਿਰ ਤੱਕ ਜਾਂ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟੋ ਘੱਟ 48 ਘੰਟੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ 559-274-4700 ਐਕਸਟੈਂਸ਼ਨ 10150 ਤੇ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਤਾਂ ਜੋ ਇੱਕ ਟਰਾਂਸਲੇਟਰ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।
Thank you. With that, we turn to our presentations, beginning with our student recognition. I will turn it over to Dr. Lopez and Dr. Boatwright.
Good evening, Board President Singh, Board of Trustees, and Interim Superintendent Dr. O'Brien. We have a video today that we would like to show you, but first I would like to, in recognition of LGBTQ Pride Month, we would like to recognize the work that our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department has led to ensure awareness and spreading that information through our district newsletter. Thank you, Director English. In addition, we would like to show you this video from Central East High School. This is from the GSA Club, led by advisor Nina Jasper. If you can please play. The sound.
Found my truth, my rainbow light. Out to the world, share my pride. Know my worth, advocacy for right. Community strong, we own the night. This is our time.
The GCA Club is important to have students know where to go when they need support or where they need to talk to somebody about how or where can they go to the next level to show their support and to show how we can support them.
Hi, I'm the advisor of the GSA Club, and we just want to say thank you so much for supporting us and how important Pride means to us and the district. So thank you so much.
World, share my pride. Know my worth, advocacy for right. Community strong, we own the night. This is our time for our best events. Share the colors our flag represents. Red for life, come together, rise above. Orange for healing, we feel the love. Yellow sunlight, we're shining bright. Green for nature, our hearts in flight. Blue for harmony, peace we seek. Violet spirit, proud and unique. Raise the flag.
Thank you for supporting Pride community.
They created this short video to share what Pride means to them, why it matters in our schools, and how your support makes a difference. Our district provides various club opportunities which embody the rich diversity found within our district. Pride Month is not just about a celebration, it's about remembering history, promoting acceptance, and ensuring that every student and staff feels seen and valued. Thank you.
All right, good evening. So next up, I'd like to share with you some amazing authors and illustrators. I'm going to introduce them, and then we'll have them come up and shake your hands. So first off, Wednesday, May 7th was the annual Young Authors Fair at the Fresno Fairgrounds. Central Unified students earned 5 exemplary awards this year. We have Mrs. Jimenez's first grade class from Central Elementary. They were awarded the Exemplary Award for K-6 class book with their entry entitled Clothesline Clues to the Jobs People Do. We have another entry from Central Elementary, also earned an Exemplary Award for K-6 fiction. Danielle Moses from Mrs. Hernandez's class wrote and illustrated her book, Puppy Love. Eileen Anguiano from McKinley Elementary, Mrs. Villarreal's class, received an award for the K-12 Individual Illustrator for her book entitled Fires. Central East High School student Finch Damien earned the Exemplary Award for 712 Narrative for People Like Us. And Central High School student Forrest Davila received an Exemplary Award for 712 poem The Shift. Congratulations to all of our coaches, teachers, and of course, our amazing students. Let's give them a round of applause. Good job, good job.
Thank you to all the students and their families. Next, we switch gears to employee recognition, and I'll have Dr. Boatwright share some of the recognitions.
So thank you again. So we're going to start off tonight with our 2025 Character and Civic Education Recognition Awards. And I'd like to invite up Mabel Franks to the microphone here to tell you a little bit about this.
Good evening, President of the Board, members of the board, and Superintendent O'Brien. Welcome to see you again. Congratulations to Central Unified for the work that you're doing. I always call it recovery period, in that I feel like everybody went through a tunnel a few years ago. Some schools feel like they're still in it. They can't even see the sunshine. They don't know what direction to go. What we were able to find out from Central is that there are schools here that have moved beyond even recovery. It takes a long time to create the type of culture that we found at the schools that we visited this year. And that is extremely important, not only for you to know it as a board and members of the community, but for our entire Central Valley to know that there are schools out here that have moved beyond recognizing that we went through challenges to believe that we can do anything again. And when we went to visit the two schools that earned the award tonight, it was very evident that what they had in place didn't just start 2 years ago. You don't change a culture in 2 years. That takes a long time. So what it was that they literally created an idea of how we move ahead long before a lot of other schools have. So I'd like you to know and recognize is that they serve as a model for the rest of the schools in our district that are still struggling. But above and beyond that, when you go to visit the schools and hear it from the students, what is going on, you know it's really happening. When you hear it from the adults, you hope it's happening. But when the students are able to describe it and be so excited about the schools that they attend to share what they know and believe, and then the parents echo that, it is extending beyond the boundaries of the school and the walls of the classroom. So with that in mind, I'd like to recognize tonight two schools that absolutely exemplified character and civic education as a way they do their work. Whether they're students, their teachers, their parents, their staff, everybody's working together to make a difference. So with it, I'd like to call up two recognized schools, Central High School. The students were so excited about what they had to share. And I hope that some of you remember the stories. I call it memory markers. We're not taking time to develop those right now. We're so busy trying to do that we don't stop to recognize what we have accomplished. So with that, we actually forced them to recognize, and I know it was hard, but it was amazing what they were able to share, and I hope they'll be able to share some stories with you at some point this year before the summer comes. The other one I'd like to recognize tonight is El Capitan Middle School. And having been, middle school is my love and dream. It's where schools, and I could teach 100 middle schoolers in a single period any day. Give me 20 kindergartners, I'm lost. But what I believe about middle school is that where they either find themselves or they lose themselves. They either believe there's hope and their dreams are there, or they believe they're not. And what I saw with El Capitan is that belief in the promise of the future. So congratulations to all you do. Thank you.
Okay, so moving on. So I'd like to share with you what we received from Samuel Lee, who was the membership coordinator from the Family Career and Community Leaders of America regarding Alyssa Fight, Central East high school teacher and winner of the FCCLA Spirit of Advising Award. This is what he wrote. And these are also these amazing students back here in these red suits. In every school and chapter, there are advisors who go above and beyond, not for recognition, but because they believe deeply in their students, in the mission of FCCLA, and in the power of leadership to change lives. You are one of those advisors. This is Alyssa Fite. You are the steady encouragement behind the scenes, the problem solver, the motivator, the mentor, the one who stays late, shows up early, and gives students the courage to lead. That is why it is my honor to share that you have been selected as a recipient of the FCCLA Spirit of Advising Award, an honor given to no more than one advisor per state each year, selected from over 7,200 chapter advisors across the country. This award is a reflection of your unwavering commitment to student success, your tireless efforts to build a strong FCCLA chapter, and your embodiment of the very spirit that guides our organization. Your influence is felt not just through the awards your chapter may earn, but through the everyday moments, empowering students to speak up, guiding them through challenges and encouraging them to see their potential. You have created a space where members can grow into leaders, and that is what this award is truly about. So that is Alyssa Fite, and I'd like to invite her up right now. She'd like to share with you just a little bit about her program, but first, can we give her a round of applause?
I brought them around because I need my cheerleaders. No. Good evening, board members and community members and Central Unified leaders. I am Alyssa Fite, Family and Consumer Science teacher from Central East High School. And part of my job as a Family and Consumer Science teacher is to advise a chapter of Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. It's a mouthful. But I wouldn't be here without my wonderful students, so I'm just going to recognize them by name because they gave up their evening to be here with us. So we have Blesha, and Gracie, and Sunshine, and Brenda, and Delilah, and Marco, and Jared, Rosalind, and David. And several of them are outgoing officers that are just turning over the torch to our incoming officers. If you're an incoming officer, will you please wave? Incoming officers. They're going to be serving as our chapter officers for next year. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about some of our accomplishments this year in FCCLA. So FCCLA focuses on personal, career, and community development through competitive events, community service, public speaking, and leadership. This year, the theme was Dare to Dream, and our students worked really hard to meet their personal and professional goals and dreams this year. We had over 340 members affiliated with FCCLA in our chapter, and 16 of those members, many of them which are here today, represented us at the State Leadership Conference this spring in Riverside. Of those 16, 4 of them qualified for nationals by placing in the top 2 in the state for their competitions. They will be attending the National Leadership Conference in Orlando, Florida this summer, pending board approval, of course. And those people are Rosalind Tompkins, David Rodriguez, Jocelyn Centora, and Alexis Rodriguez. Those are our 4 that'll be representing us in Orlando. Tonight, we also awarded our students with membership plaques, stoles, and cords for those who went above and beyond to serve in community service, star events, fundraising, and other FCCLA-related activities. We also recognized our new officer team, and they will lead our chapter next year as we affiliate 100% of our students in the Family and Consumer Science program. That encompasses child development, fashion design, nutrition, and interior design. And our successes this year would not be possible without the following individuals. We want to thank Courtney Avery and Brad Edmonds, our site admin, for all of their support, Mark Fowler, our area administrator, and also my colleagues Shannon Farmer and Holly Chohan for helping us run this amazing program. I also wish to thank my husband and children that support me. I'm pretty sure every time my kids see me in red, they're like, again? With FCCLA? And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. But it's an amazing organization. I know it changes their lives, and that's why I love to do it. It is the most exhausting, but the most rewarding part of my job, and I love seeing them go out into the community and do amazing things. So thank you to my students for helping me to get to this point, and thank you, board members. Have a great day.
Thank you again, Mrs. Fite, and thank you for all the students for being there and supportive. Next, we turn it again to Dr. Boatwright to share. Actually, Mrs. Fite, can we come shake your hand and maybe even some of the students as well? Now we turn it back to Dr. Boatwright to share with some new additions to our team.
I will go ahead and turn this back to Dr. O'Brien.
Well, thank you, Dr. Boatwright. We were going to introduce Dr. Jyoti Bathina, our new curriculum and instruction director, tonight, but she wasn't feeling well, so she will join us at our next board meeting. But in the meantime, we are very excited to introduce our new principal at Teague Elementary. Her name is Jasmine Burris Marby, and we're very excited to have her at the helm. And she'd like to say a few words in appreciation to the board for approving her contract.
Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here today. Let me tell you. So much, it's hard for me to contain it. So let me just jump right into it. So good evening, board president, board members, Dr. O'Brien, and then everybody here today. So I just want to say thank you for your trust and confidence in approving me to be Teague's new principal. So I'm honored and excited to be stepping into this new role and serving in a school community that I already have grown to love. So I do have personal ties. My son is here in Central Unified. But throughout my career in education, I've had the privilege of working in a variety of roles, and these roles have given me insight into the diverse needs of staff, students, and families. So just knowing their experiences from day to day, teachers pouring their heart into classrooms and then still having challenges, students facing challenges at home and at school, and then coming and still carrying that potential with them. Challenges, hopes and dreams of families for their students that we take care of for many, many hours a day. So I will not lose sight of that in the work that I'm doing, and always remember those needs of students, families, and staff. So I'm committed to being equitable and inclusive leader. So I'm listening attentively, leading collaboratively, and then making sure to celebrate the diversity that strengthens our school community. So we have one clear goal, and that is to improve student achievement. And we'll do that by creating these supportive and high quality learning environments for all students. So before I sit down, I just want to let you know that I've had the privilege of being a part of the Central Unified community and family for many years as a parent, but I am now proud to say that I am a part of the Central Unified family as a staff member and a leader. So thank you again for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with you all.
Thank you again, and welcome to the team. Thank you. Next, we invite up our Executive Director of the Foundation for Central Schools, Serena Dohe.
Thank you, Board Trustee President. Good evening, Board of Trustees, and thank you for having me this evening. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us at our annual Scholarship Awards. That was just last month. We received so much positive feedback from the community, and I have to say that was probably my favorite event, but I say that about everything every time it comes up. And a huge congratulations again to our 23 scholarship recipients. We gave out 26 scholarships, but at the end, we did have 3 recipients receive 2 scholarships, which was very surprising for them and their families. So again, thank you to our community for helping make that happen. Our next event was the annual golf tournament, but we did move the date to September 20th. I think the weather will be a little bit more on our side, and it also gives folks a bit more time to get their team together. So all that information is on our website, September 20th. So if any of our new Board of Trustees or current Board of Trustees want to join us for golf, September 20th will be the date. Early bird prices will continue until August 1st. So some great news, and I'm so happy our new Teague principal joined us today, but we did wrap up the season over at the Teague Community Food Pantry, so it's now officially closed for the summer as it starts to get extremely hot. We don't want to trouble people with the heat in there. And so numbers so far that we have is that 5,435 individuals, and of which 2,243 are children under 18 were served this year. So I am so happy we could do this, even with some slight grants not coming in due to some federal grants that were put on hold. We still did a little less than 1,000 individuals from last year. So I'm very proud of what we were able to accomplish this year. On June 3rd, which is just a week away, we will be hosting a town hall listening session to learn insights from our families that came to the pantry so that we can help make their shopping experience more enjoyable and make sure that we're still purchasing for the central community and for cultural reasons, health reasons. We want to make sure that we can provide those specifics for them. In addition, thanks to the Morgan Stanley grant that's been extended for us until September, we have hopes that El Capitan Middle School and McKinley Elementary School Pantry will open in September. So we have resources for our families during our closures of our pantries on our website, centralfoundation.org, and or they can reach out to their family outreach liaisons for continued support when our food pantry is closed. So a lot of really great news as we end the school year and then start a new school year with our food pantries. Additionally, our clothing closets. I want to focus tonight on a couple of closets. A Central East Careers clothing closet. Our intervention counselor over there, Victoria Duong, she's just gone above and beyond for our high schoolers on their special days, whether it be senior photos, a job interview, formal, prom, or graduation. A total of 105 students were outfitted this school year. So this isn't just Central East students. These are high schoolers from all of our campuses, which is fabulous. And that's what I love about our clothing closets is even though it's at a specific school site, it's available for anyone district-wide. So we have, an email that goes out and someone says, hey, we're in need, and everyone kind of looks in those closets and we figure out how to source those items as quick as possible internally first. So 105 students, that's a big number for our school district, and I'm very proud of that. And I'd also like to note that the Pershing Continuation and Pathway Community Day Schools closet is, in fact, running, and it's doing great. So I'm super excited that that happened as well. So if you are doing a tour, be sure to ask about that closet. So I do have some success stories I'd like to just share with you, just so you can hear from a student's perspective. And you can understand really the impact these closets are making. So this is from one of our high schoolers. Having the clothes available has taken a lot of stress off my shoulders. When it comes to having formal clothes, I don't really have any of my own. I remember I needed formal work clothes for an interview I had junior year. I was going to be graded on my outfit, and I was stressed out because my family could not afford to buy fancy clothes. Luckily, the closet was available to take the weight off my shoulders. Having a clothing closet is helpful for people like myself who feel kind of embarrassed to not be able to afford clothes for important events. And the next story I have is from a staff member. And so she had been coming to school wearing shoes that were 2 sizes too big, making it uncomfortable and difficult to walk. When we were able to give her a new pair of shoes in her correct size, her face lit up with joy. She was smiling from ear to ear and couldn't stop saying thank you. Moments like these remind us why this effort matters. Our clothing closet is more than just clothing. It's about dignity, comfort, and helping our students feel seen and supported. And again, our clothing closets have made such a meaningful difference in the lives of our students. I'd like to say a huge thank you to the Assistance League of Fresno, who generously takes us and helps us stock our clothing closets throughout the school year, helps us in emergency needs, and just continues to provide that support so that the foundation can support our school districts and make more of these happen. So in the new school year, we are looking at finishing the Rio Vista clothing closet and possibly opening another 1 or 2 closets as well. So they're very important, and they're not just, closets for someone out of dress code, but these are very meaningful, impactful ways to make our students feel seen and 100% comfortable in all aspects of school life. All right, and as the season changed, we do roll into our grant season. So at this time, we offer high school enrichment students grants for their textbooks. So we do have summer grants available for students that are enrolled in summer school. They do have to be a current Central Unified High School Enrichment student. And so that information is available on centralfoundation.org, and or students can partner with their career counselor at their school site. And additionally, thanks to the Kaiser Permanente Benefits Program, we have been awarding well-being grants around the district to enhance workplace shared areas and boost employee morale. For example, Central High has been embracing well-being by having monthly healthy snacks, and Central Elementary will be hosting a monthly smoothie break, so that's very exciting. It's just a great way to keep everybody energized and making smarter choices and well-being choices as well. So picking up a smoothie instead of a soda, I think we're all guilty for those things as well. So we'll continue doing that as we get into the new school year. And additionally, in August, teachers and club advisors, be sure to mark your calendar for August 4th, because our classroom and school club grants will be available before you know it. So we want to encourage everyone to start thinking about those new projects. Again, I just want to say thank you to our Board of Trustees, and I look forward to another great school year. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Trustee Chavez?
Thank you for that report. I really appreciate it. And I'm seeing here, I saw you on the agenda, so I was really curious. I have a specific interest in the foundation just because I know the work that you do. I'm familiar. And I noticed that there wasn't a report here for us to view, so I was just going to ask a couple questions. One is about the golf tournament in particular. So I've been approached by a few constituents who are former alumni, some are alumni, but specifically they're asking around, our fundraising goals. So from what I've heard, and I don't pretend to know because I'm not an athlete at all, so anybody who knows me, I'm not athletic, and I just don't follow sports very much, but they've said that we've had multiple professional sports figures that have graduated from Central who actually come to the Valley to do various golf tournaments. Have we tried to reach out to any of those alumni to see how we could partner with them for any kind of fundraising opportunities or to leverage their golf tournament? appearances. Have you done any of that, or do you know about that?
Yeah, so Jalen Johnson actually supports another event, Holiday Joy of ours, as well as numerous events. He also hosts his own golf tournament that benefits another Central Grizzlies youth program. So there are partnerships in place, but we can continue to explore those opportunities with alumni as well. Thank you.
Yeah, and then the other thing I was going to ask was around, is there a revenue goal for the foundation as for how much outside funding sources, like as far as how many grants the foundation actually writes per year? Is there an actual identified revenue goal for the foundation to hit as a target? I'm just curious. Given the budget constraints that are coming down, because we know that, so we're going to have to start exploring other funding opportunities. So do we have anything in place?
At this time, there's not a set grant funding application number and process, but I do believe that is something we can look into. When I first started in this foundation, I know that we've come a very long way as to where I was 5.5 years ago, and I think Trustee Carrillo and Trustee Chan can also speak to that as to kind of where we were. But we have been looking at private grants and federal grants in the last 3 years. And so that's been new for the foundation because that wasn't happening before. And so I'd like to see that continue to grow. But as far as an actual number, not at this time.
Okay. So I'd like to work together to see how we can do that. Just as a person who's a former fundraiser, there's always a target that we hit. It's not about the amount of grants that we get, it's about the amount of grants that we write. So I'd like to kind of make sure that we are tracking and seeing how many applications we're submitting, and if we have a revenue goal that we're actually trying to target every single year. So I know that'll take some time, but I just like to make sure that we're kind of moving in that direction.
And Trustee Chavez, I just want to clarify, are you speaking in regards to the foundation only or as the school district?
No,
Because
I mean the foundation only.
Okay.
Yeah, because the foundation has flexibility that's very unique to a foundation.
Yes.
And that's in every educational institution. So I don't want to leave any money on the table that we could possibly be tapping into through the foundation specifically. So I know it's kind of a new way to think about it, but I'd just like to mention it so we could start moving in that direction.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Dohi. Yeah, I appreciate the comments from Trustee Chavez. I've definitely seen sort of the growth. I think that's going to take us to the next level for us to have those kind of goals that we're trying to hit, and hope to be a partner. I think I look at it, and especially in terms of whether it be the golf tournament, but because those are completely unrestricted, the ways that we can actually tap into businesses, and there is a desire. I mean, you could see it in terms of like how much faith that this community has continued to have in the school district. So just finding new ways for us to continue to soar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we turn to our employee association highlights. I'll first invite up our CUTA President, Laura Bolton.
All right, good evening. Hope everybody had a wonderful 3-day weekend. So I want to start off by sharing that last week on May 19th, we were able to give 3 scholarships to students who showed an interest in the education field and exemplified what we were looking for in students that we would like to support in their future academics. So CUDA gave a $750 scholarship to Tessa Davis at Central East, to Samantha Perez at Central High School, and Macy Richardson also at Central High School. On Friday, we were back at the bargaining table. We spent a good long day together, going back and forth and trying to find our way to a compromise and to a tentative agreement. We did make some progress, but it was very, very little. And I want to share with you that the same student-focused requests are still on the table. So we are still looking to bring in social workers for our students with 504s. The district has not agreed to this. They are entertaining an internship program, so that's a potential. We're also still looking for support services for our English learners. We've requested support to provide push-in support in our core classes for them in secondary. The district does not agree to this, and gave us a response that essentially they already do that, but that's not really accurate. Our secondary teachers are with their students in their classes. They're not able to push in when they have kids in their room. And we're also looking for, again, more support for our newcomers and our very beginning English learners. One of the pretty much no-cost requests that we asked for that still has not been agreed to is ensuring access to reading intervention programs that already exist on our campuses. Frequently, our newcomers and our ELs are excluded from these programs. We're told that there's just not enough space and that they already get support, and so they can't go to reading intervention. There's just not room. So the district responded that newcomers and EL students have equal access to reading intervention services. So having equal access and actually receiving the services is not the same thing. And then we've told you many times that we're looking for more newcomer support. So we continue to request additional newcomer teachers for our elementary and secondary. The district did pay attention, and they did put forward a growth position for one more newcomer teacher and one more instructional coach for ELs. And we think that's a step in the right direction, but considering the number of newcomers and struggling EL students, we think that that's just not sufficient, and that there is money in concentration and supplemental grant money that's ongoing that could be used to provide these. We hear the district's point that money has been spent to open schools, that it's expensive to turn Central High School into a comprehensive high school, that opening up our new elementary school came with a lot of costs, and that a lot of this could not be avoided. That is true. That is absolutely true. But a lot of it is also one time, and the funding that we're referring to will still be there next year. So that needs to be taken into consideration, that once those things are in place, some of that cost goes away. So finally, we also have maintained our desire for expansion of opportunity class options for both elementary and high school. Middle school has 3 opportunity classes. This is for students with high behavior who need intensive behavior support, but don't qualify for our continuation schools. They're kind of in between. They're needing it right now, but they also aren't doing well in the classroom, and they're disruptive to the students who are trying to learn. So middle school, they can be assigned to 30 days of intensive behavior support on campus, still receiving their instruction, and then return to class. High school does not have this. Elementary has 1 class for all what will be 15 elementary schools, with seats that are supposed to be filled with kindergarten through 6th graders. Usually about 6 students are the max. The district did put forward an additional growth position for a second opportunity class this year, and it was never filled. We don't really know why. It's needed. So we believe and we maintain that even having 2 would not be enough to separate the grade spans. We believe that it's not appropriate for kindergartners and 6th graders with behavior problems to be in the same room, nor would it really be appropriate for 3rd graders and 6th graders to be in the same room. We think that having a separation of K1 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 would be more appropriate. 1 classroom per district region, feeder school region, and mimic what we have in middle school and hopefully for high school as well. This would provide a place for those very intensive students with severe behavior issues to go and have that intensive behavior training while still being able to learn their grade level standards, and then give the classrooms a relief who are enduring severe behavior disruptions, and give that child a relief to not be constantly in that loop of behavior and reprimand and PBIS that is not working for them at Tier 3. So those are the things we still want and that we still think we need and that we think can be found in the budget room for these things, or some sort of compromise that, that we think if the district is willing to look at it, think outside the box, that we can find ways to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we invite Angie Aguirre, our CSEA president.
Good evening, board members and Dr. O'Brien. I just want to give a little shout out to our bus drivers. On Sunday, May 25th, 3 of our Central Unified's finest school bus drivers proudly represented our district at the 2025 Castro State Championship Bus Rodeo, competing against the top 20 drivers in California. 10 from Northern California and 10 from Southern California. Our team demonstrated skill, professionalism, and heart. The drivers were Ricky Woods, 8 years of service with Central; Tony Heroes, 3 years of service; Maria Munoz, 3 years of service. All 3 drivers earned their place at the state championship by placing in the top 10 at the Northern Section Rodeo in April. Their performance at the finals was commendable, showcasing the high standards and dedication of Central Unified's transportation team. We're proud of the unity initiative shown by our transportation department. We just wanted to give a shout out. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we turn to our superintendent and board communications, Interim Superintendent Dr. O'Brien.
Good evening, members of the board and everybody here. There's been a lot of great end-of-year celebrations occurring around the district. But I must say what happened on last Thursday, May 22nd, when our entire administration made our way out to Madison Elementary to participate in a huge celebration of their recent recognition as only one of 6 elementary schools in the whole county to be named a California State Distinguished School. So we were delighted that some of our board members were there to represent the governing board. Trustees Carla Kirk, a former Madison parent, Trustee Nabil Kirfan, and then also Trustee Josh Sellers was there joining our local law enforcement partners to form a tunnel for all the students, the 500 plus students and staff, to pass through on their way out to the playfields, where everybody formed a very large M for Madison, which was chalked onto the field. All of our students proudly wore their T-shirts saying, "I am State Distinguished," and got to see a drone go overhead and take some photographs of them. Very, very exciting. Then Patrick Kelly from Producers Dairies brought a big truck on site, and every student and adult got some ice cream. We want to thank Aldi Ramirez, who organized this gesture from the Shahadi family at Producers Dairies. And it's another great example of the partnerships we have in our community with not only producers, but also our business and law enforcement friends. So that was a lot of fun. And actually, the team is headed down to Anaheim this week to formally receive their award. Monday, May 19th was a very proud moment in Central Unified. We had our first cohort of Associates of Arts degree earners. Was in partnership with Fresno City College. We had 21 valedictorians, 11 of whom earned their AA degree. They also got actually to formally cross the stage on Friday night at Fresno City College. at a ceremony there. And then out at Central High School, Trustees Kirk and Kerfan were able to join in the ceremony. Also in attendance was interim President Dr. Kim Armstrong. She's interim president in Fresno City College, as well as Trustee Danielle Parra. She's president of the State Central Community College District. She shared some inspirational comments as she congratulated our students and thanked their parents and the staff at Central High School for their support of this momentous achievement. You know, I had the great pleasure to attend an event on Thursday evening. It was the PK Parent Institute for Quality Education event. Myself, Dr. Lopez, Nora Ceballos, who oversees parent engagement in the district, and Christina Rodriguez, who oversees our Extended Learning Opportunities Program. We went to the centre across the street here, the Centre de Familia, and there were 96 parents there receiving certificates for completing 15 weeks of coursework in a variety of topics around parenting. Everything from how to help our students navigate social media, how to help them navigate, school successfully, organizing their time, things like that. There were really relevant modules, and several parents got up and gave testimonies about how the program had benefited them. Frankly, it was just awe-inspiring to hear these parents talk about how these modules have helped make them more effective, more productive, more understanding parents. And, as we in the school district are striving to overcome a lot of challenges as we try to help our students navigate everything in their educational journey, it is so important that we, partner with our parents. Our parents are the primary educators. They are the ones with whom our students are most of their time. So it really was great. 17 of those parents actually got perfect attendance awards. Some of them, they have to attend one night a week. Some of them attended 2 nights a week so that they could cover more modules. Really was a very inspiring evening. And then Univision celebrity newscaster Lupita Lomelli, she provided a motivational keynote speech. She shared her own journey coming from Mexico, the sacrifices that her parents made, but how they really fostered in her a determination to follow her dream to go into television. And she's obviously a very famous person, so her presence and her words were a huge testimony to the work of PK and our other parent engagement programs here in Central Unified. So I have to say, I was so proud to be associated with that event. And then I also wanted to mention that I've been continuing my visits out to our school sites with members of our board. It's really been great to see, just get these little snapshots of things that are going on around the district. When we were out at Glacier Point, we happened to be in a Math 1 classroom, and the entire smart board, as the teacher went through the slides, all I saw was writing. I really didn't see any numbers, because the project, as you'll remember, Trustee Kerfan, was to design a city which had, X amount of perpendicular streets and parallel streets and buildings in certain shapes, and there were all sorts of guidelines. But as I looked up, it occurred to me how important reading is, even in mathematics. And that brings me on to Teague Elementary, where we were also visiting. And you have a teacher that you will enjoy working with. Her name is Amy Hosier, because her classroom is a model classroom for our letters training. And she's using that program 95% up. And to see the extent of literacy education instruction that's happening in our first grade classrooms, it really is a game changer for us here in Central Unified. And we just had 84 teachers graduate, and we have several more going through the cohorts, and we have administrators invited to participate in that. So I think it's something you might find enjoyable. And I also got to go out to the Central Online High School, where Colette Bulger is the principal, and we have some amazing programs for our students who, for a variety of reasons, need to attend high school online. And they are the owls, by the way. And to see the teachers and how they interact with our students online, it really is very inspiring to see what we can do to make sure that every student within our boundaries is having access to a great education, no matter what their situation. Lastly, I wanted to mention that between now and our next board meeting, we will have attended the class and the Central East High School graduations. So we are officially in graduation season. I see our board members have received their stoles this evening, but we're very excited to celebrate these momentous occasions with our 2025 graduating seniors and their families. We've known that many of our students have received scholarships and awards. We're so proud of everything they've achieved. All of our staff will be there to cheer them on, and obviously all of us too. So looking forward to seeing our board members at our upcoming graduations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. O'Brien. Any other communications from any board members at this time? Trustee Kirk?
Thank you very much, President Singh. Just another big thank you and shout out to Mrs. Oliver. The teachers and the support staff at Madison. Was a special day that was, and a special shout out to Ms. Buchaklian, who is retiring this year after many years of dedicated service, who had one of my son's homework pieces from 2013 and ran me down because she thought I would want this drawing that my son did. I noticed my son's handwriting hasn't changed too much since 2013. So just that kind of dedication is just really the reason I'm just so proud to be a Madison Warrior parent. And secondly, I had the privilege of being part of the platform party for the Fresno City College graduation last Friday, and I was able to grab about 6 of our graduates and give them a hug or high five. I wasn't supposed to do that, but I did it anyway. Just so wonderful to see them in their central stoles graduating, such a great honor. So big congratulations to our 11 students who earned that associate's degree.
Trustee Chavez?
Thank you for that, Trustee Kirk. So I was also a professor at Fresno City, but I am going to say something different regarding graduations, and I want to address this to any parents who are watching and any students. I think this is a really happy time, and we really focus on accomplishment and achievers and, valedictorians, and I absolutely agree that those students deserve their due. So big congratulations to those folks, but I fell under a category that was different than other students, and this is actually a very difficult and challenging time for a lot of our students. I was a straight F student in high school, and a lot of people believed I wasn't going to make it. So I want to acknowledge those people who are stressing out to the last minute. My parents were holding their breath until the day that I walked, so I know that there are families out there that may not be feeling that same sense of excitement around this time of year. And I want to acknowledge those folks and give you you can do it. Like, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish. So I will be at your graduations. I am wearing my UC Irvine bachelor's degree gown on purpose because that was the degree that I'm most proud of, that my family was very, involved in. I'm a first generation student and nobody believed that I was going to get there. So for those parents who wonder, is my kid going to get there? And kids who are like, am I going to make it? Like, you can do it. And I just want to make sure that I'm going to be on the stage and cheering you on. So good work and keep it up.
Thank you. Trustee Kerfan?
Do I have to follow that up? Thank you, President Singh. Again, thank you to Producers Dairy and ECU for sponsoring that event at Madison, and of course also to our Fresno Police Department and our Fresno firefighters for attending and showing our students the great role models we have in our community. And again, just highlighting that I'm on the tour of the district with Superintendent O'Brien. I've hit on this before, but the rigor in the learning we're seeing in our classrooms is just phenomenal. That math class Superintendent O'Brien mentioned, where students are doing whole projects where they're designing cities with all words, that is an introductory math course. We also get to see the English dual enrollment courses. So there's a lot of great stuff going on at our schools all across the district. And then I also attended the CSBA Delegate Assembly over the weekend with trustees from across California school districts. Sharing a couple things from the legislative update, although they are subject to change. AB 1111, which extends the deadline for school districts to convert their school buses to zero emission. As some on the board remember, if you crush a bus, you get a bus. That is, saving the district money. If the current version passes, we would not have to crush a diesel bus. We could donate it to a small or rural district. This creates opportunities to be not only good stewards of the environment, but good neighbors to our many rural districts in Fresno and Madera County. And if the board would like to know more about the state budget and how it can affect our Central Unified funding, there will be workshops across the state, but the closest one is at 9 a.m. at the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools office on June 4th.
Thank you. And with that, we then move on to comments from the public.
President Singh, the one I have right now is Elizabeth Gamez Luna on item L14, which is the solution fee contract. And Ms. Luna, you will have 3 minutes when you begin.
Okay. Good evening, board members, superintendent, staff, and members of the community. My name is Elizabeth Gamez Luna, and I am a Central Community member of DLAC and a former Central educator. As we move forward with Solution Tree, I'd like to speak on PLCs. In our district guiding principles, we state that we believe in collaboration and community, and that we ensure academic success. I believe that Solution Tree will support us in meeting these goals, but the following needs need to be considered and transparent. Modeling the work of PLCs begins at the district level, with the district supporting all the staff in its implementation by making sure there is a clear understanding of what a PLC is and is not. Also, a need for buy-in and commitment from staff and community. This PLC process will require a lot of work, monitoring, and strategic planning, but it ensures learning for all and the effective development of MTSS, which is multi-tier support systems, which supports all student needs, including the excelling. It's also important that our community have an understanding of who and what PLCs are and how they, the community, fit into this collaboration. Because as we know, it takes a village, right, to educate a child. And so we need to work closely with our community, but we need to be transparent. They need to know what strategies, what programs we are utilizing and truly understand them. The PLC work is data-driven. It's not negotiable. It's not like, okay, today I don't want to have PLC because I want to talk about the field trip or what's going on in my classroom with discipline. It's that commitment of taking a look at data and making decisions on student learning. Learning for all, and our goal also is learning for all, and also the establishing of sustainability, because if we want this work to continue, it's really, really important that it's monitored and that it's supported by all in the district. Please note that there are teachers out there that truly want to work in a PLC, but they are confronted with struggles and challenges. They are in PLCs where maybe they're the only person that really wants to do this work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
President Singh, I have no other comments at this time.
Board President, there's no callers at this time.
So that then we will turn to the consent agenda. Before I take a motion, I just want to highlight the board is recognizing the month of June as LGBTQ plus Awareness Month, and our desire to be inclusive, to see all and make sure that all students know they have a place of belonging in this district. And with that, I'll take a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by trustee Kerfan,
Second.
second by trustee Sellers. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 7-0. Thank you. We move on to our action items. Our first action item is our student discipline case, case number 2425020. And with that, I'll take a motion on the recommendation.
I move to accept the recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Kirk, a second by trustee Kerfan. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 7-0. We move to item number 2, to accept gifts to the district. Assistant Superintendent Iqbal.
Good evening. El Capitan Middle School received a donation of 53 library books valued at $736.90 from the donor Choose.org for the El Capitan Library. Administration is recommending the board to accept gifts to the district.
Question or comments from any board members? Just out of interest, oh, sorry. Go ahead, trustee Sellers.
I was going to make a motion to accept.
So we have a motion by trustee Sellers.
I'll second so we can hear your comments.
Yeah, second by trustee Kerfan. Just out of interest, Assistant Superintendent Iqbal, were there specific types of books that were being donated, or was it sort of just general books?
I can get you more information about this.
Okay, I'll follow up with you. Thank you. And with that, so we have a motion by trustee Sellers, second by trustee Kerfan. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 6-0 with trustee absent. We move on to item number 3, approve and adopt resolution 2425-55, authorizing the issuance and sale of general obligation bonds. Assistant Superintendent Iqbal.
Okay, this is a returning item. It is a resolution to authorize the sales of bond. Administration is recommending the board approve and adopt resolution 2425-55, authorizing the issuance and sale of general obligation bond.
Questions or comments from the board? That, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Sellers, second by trustee Kerfan. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 6-0. We move on to item number 4, approve legal services for 2025-2026. Assistant Superintendent Iqbal.
Again, this is a returning item. This is a renewal of annual contracts for all legal services. Administration is recommending the board approve legal services for fiscal year 25-26.
Questions or comments from the board? With that, I'll take a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Carrillo, second by trustee Chavez. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 6-0. We move on to item number 5, approve the 2025 to 2026 dates for elementary schools attending 6th grade camp. Area Administrator Pennington.
Good evening, Board President Singh, Interim Superintendent O'Brien, and members of the board. This item is returning from our last meeting. There was a question that came up regarding funding for our 6th grade camp, and I just wanted to follow up on that and let you know that we have worked together, and then all of the funds will be covered for each of the sites for 6th grade camp. The registration costs will be covered. So that's a yay, good thing. And then if there are, administration is recommending approval, and then I'm happy to answer any other questions that you may have.
Questions or comments from the board? Trustee Carrillo.
First, thank you to our administration for going back and taking a look at that. It's important for me, and I think collectively for many of us on the board, to ensure equity, and that's one way that we can ensure. So thank you. What I would like to consider in the future or moving forward before the next approval is that we look at the transportation cost, because I do want to just make sure that if there's an opportunity for this board to make a decision and allocate those funds, to make sure that that's not prohibiting any school from attending whatever camp. I know that a few years ago, maybe even 3 or 4, is when we switched over to the board essentially allocating the funding for these camps to ensure that they're not the school site is not having to sacrifice certain programming.
Right.
But what we know has been consistent is the cost of transportation keeps going up. So I know that this will alleviate some of their funding, but I would just like to make sure that the board is aware of what that cost looks like for transportation in the future, and they can decide whether we have additional funds we want to allocate for that. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Of course. And just to add to that, we did look into the cost of transportation.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And so the Sierra Outdoor, which is one of our schools, goes to that, is $3,300 because it requires a charter. So, and then Calvin Crest, which 2 schools actually go on one bus, is $1,900. And then for Wonder Valley, it's $550 per bus. So we do have those costs, and that most of the sites have included in their site plan to pay for the costs of the transportation for those field trips.
Okay.
To camp.
So with the board, and by board meaning the general funds covering the cost for each of the students attending, do the school sites still fundraise for the transportation? So I know that you mentioned they budget for that, but I still want to know, is our expectation and directive to the school site that they cover those transportation costs? Or do they still have the ability to fundraise and have parents pay for that cost?
Well, at this point, there have been school sites who fundraise because also the registration costs and those pieces.
Right.
But now that this is going to cover the cost of all of the registrations, then it allows the schools to be able to put that transportation in their site, which is much easier to pay for. But I think going forward, we're going to have that discussion. Most sites do. I can't say 100% that every single site has done that, but that is something that going forward that we would talk to the sites about.
Okay.
So that the funding isn't coming from parents.
Okay.
Right. So just to clarify, there's no funding that's coming from families or students.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
And that was the whole purpose, just for our new board members, of me advocating and the board as a whole voting to take on the cost, was to make sure that no student was responsible and therefore their parents don't feel like, how do I make this work, whatever their circumstances may be. So thank you very much. If no one has any question.
It's not really a question, it's just a tie back to a previous comment that I made, and this is just for board members. So when I was discussing earlier the possibility of us starting to move towards having a revenue goal placed on our foundation, this would be the type of fundraising that I'm talking about, to have the discretionary funds available and the flexibility. If we found ourselves in lean years coming, that we actually do have some of the funds for some of these experiences for our young people, because I know those funds are very hard to come by. And I really appreciate that the district has been creative to be able to make those things happen. But I think that there could be an opportunity for us to start to explore some of these additional outside sources. And if we start to be strategic about how we're seeking some of these grants, we can lessen some of the pressure and some of the burden on the district and on the sites. So that's just for future planning for us to think about.
Great. Thank you. Trustee Creel?
And as a reminder, just very quickly, President Singh does sit on that board, and so I hope you've been taking notes of the feedback, because Trustee Chavez has had great points, and that you will advocate that that board consider those types of recommendations and developing a strategic plan to that effect. That's awesome.
Great idea. And with that, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Creel. Second by Trustee Situ. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. We move on to item number 6, approve bid schedule and award for the Dakota and Hayes Fencing Project, 2425-104. Director Rodriguez.
Thank you, Board President and the Board of Trustees and Interim Superintendent Dr. O'Brien. This is a returning item. Tonight is to approve the bid award for the Dakota Hayes Fencing Project to Ace Fencing Incorporated. Administration is recommending approval of this item, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions or comments from the board on this item? Trustee Creel?
Did we receive the list on this one? Because I think this was closing, or like recently closed, right?
Last week. Thought I saw it on there.
Yeah. Or you have bid access.
Okay. And so we're awarding it to the lowest bidder?
That's correct.
Just confirming, okay.
That's correct.
Thank you.
And with that, I'll entertain a motion. If no other question.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Creel. Second by trustee Kirk. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 6-0. We move on to the next item, item number 7, adopt resolution 2425-59, authorizing filing of applications for state allocation board administrative programs for the Central Unified School District on May 27, 2025. Director Rodriguez.
Thank you again, Board President. Attached for your approval is the Board Resolution 2425-59. With the passage of Prop 2 comes new program requirements in order to continue to participate in the school facilities program. The State Allocation Board is now requiring that all school districts that file funding applications as our district adopt a governing board resolution that acknowledges the master plan requirement and pledge to provide a compliant master plan prior to their funding application being apportioned by the State Allocation Board. Administration is recommending approval of this item, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have on this item.
Thank you. Questions or comments on this item? Trustee Creel?
So just for the record, when did we last update our master plan?
2021, so we're good until 2026, and we have a plan moving forward at the latter part of this fall. We'll go ahead and refresh and update.
Okay, and that'll come to the board?
Absolutely.
Is that typically what we do a workshop about? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just flagging it for those of us on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And with that, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
Motion to approve.
Motion by trustee Sellers.
Second.
Second by trustee Chavez. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 5-0. We move on to item number 8, approve bid schedule and award for Central High School exterior painting project. Director Rodriguez.
Thank you again, Board President. This item comes back again for your consideration tonight is to approve the bid award for Central High School exterior painting project to Pacific Rim Painting. For over 35 years, Pacific Rim Painting is located in Fresno and specializes in residential and commercial painting. Administration is recommending approval of this item, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have on this item.
Questions or comments on this item? With that, do I have a motion on the item?
A motion to approve.
A motion by trustee Kirk.
Second.
Second by trustee Sellers. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 6-0. This many bathroom breaks, I have to keep writing who's absent. We move on to item number 9, approve bid 2425-1404, fire alarm testing and inspection services. Director Bott.
Good evening, Board President Singh, board members, and Interim Superintendent O'Brien. On April 24th, the district posted bid 2425-1404 for fire alarm testing and inspection services. The lowest responsive bidder was Siemens. The bid is for 3 years with an option to renew for 2 additional, or for one additional year increments. The Siemens came back at $108,258 annually. Administration is recommending the board approve this bid for the fire alarm testing. After I answer any questions the board may have.
Questions or comments on this item from the board? Trustee Sellers?
This is for all central sites?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Correa?
The tally, was that something we prepared? Because I see that we crossed out initially, the bids were for, or at least 2 of them, and the one we're awarding was for over $300,000.
Yes. So that was when we were reading the bids, and sorry, I don't have the exact page number. We asked for the total price, and so the total price was the 3 years. And they're on page, there's a, I don't have the page number on here, but the cost analysis page does break it out for the yearly cost. So I crossed it out and put the yearly cost for the year.
Okay, and
that's how everybody else we had both down that way.
okay. Are any of them, because I apologize, I did not have a chance to thoroughly review the the additional supporting documents. Do any of them propose an increase?
No.
After the year, so it's going to be the 3 years?
The 3 years were locked in.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
We'll, for the renewals, we'll bring back that contract at that time.
Okay.
We can address.
Do I have a motion on the item?
I'll move to approve.
We have a motion by trustee Correa.
Second.
Second by trustee Chavez. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 6-0. We move on to item number 10, reject bid 2425-1403, Roosevelt Elementary Cafe HVAC installation. Director Bott.
Good evening again, board members. So on April 21st, the district posted the bid for the Roosevelt Elementary cafeteria HVAC installation. On May 9th, the district received one bid, and due to us receiving one bid, administration is recommending we reject the bids and rebid the project after answering questions the board may have.
Questions or comments from the board on this item? Trustee Correa.
So what do we expect will be different?
So we talked to the architect who designed it. We're trying to find out if there was something we did and maybe we made a mistake. Our addendum that we sent out was quite large, and so we're thinking it's a timing issue. I did hear there was some larger other bids going on around the same time, so just a short amount of time. So with this, we're going to go back out to bid, or if the item is approved, we'll go back out to bid, providing a little bit more time. It does unfortunately delay the project getting complete, but you know, I want to make sure we get multiple bids, we get a good base to make sure we're going to get the work done right.
Right. Did we have an anticipated completion date, or is this something we were trying to get done over the summer?
It would have got done over the summer, and we had, and I didn't print the bid out, but I believe it was a 60-day window to get it complete. And so we're going to reword some of that to give it a little more leniency and hopefully open it up to more bidders.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Chavez.
This may be a little too much for this particular item, but I'm kind of curious, how do we promote bids to potential bidders?
So this bid was through CUPCA, which allows us to post, we have a CUPCA list. So we sent out an email to that CUPCA list. We also posted it on, so we use a service for this, Quality Bidders. They put it on their bid calendar, and we also send it out to the trade journals. So by law, we're only required to send it out to our CUPCA list, but we did the CUPCA list, posted it on a bid calendar, and then we also posted it in the trade journals.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion on this item?
I'll move to reject bid 2425-1403.
I have a motion by trustee Correa.
Second.
Trustee Chavez, second by trustee Chavez. Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries to reject the bid 6-0. Moving on to item number 11, approved purchase of a John Deere specialty tractor. Area Administrator Garrett.
Good evening, President Singh, members of the board, and Interim Superintendent Dr. O'Brien. Tonight, I am bringing for approval the purchase of a John Deere specialty tractor for the Central High School Agriculture Department. This specialty tractor will be used by students in the Permanent Crops program. Students will gain practical experience with essential agriculture operations, including spraying, mowing, harvesting, and cultivation practices. These skills are directly applicable to the agriculture industry and will better prepare our students for success in post-secondary education or immediate employment in the agriculture sector. Purchase approval has been received from both Fresno County Superintendent of Schools and the Department of Education. California Department of Education and Administration is recommending approval, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board? Trustee Sellers?
What do we expect the lifespan of the tractor to be?
Yeah, I can get that information. I don't know the lifespan of a tractor offhand.
Okay.
That's a great question. I do know that there was definitely research done in terms of the functionality and the quality of the tractor being purchased, so I would expect that it would be an appropriate amount of time for what they are hoping to get out of it.
Okay, and then the second question is that I assume there's a factory warranty on it and replacing parts that may be recalled later on?
Yeah, so actually, a lot of the work can get done with local vendors who can do repairs, and then we do have a John Deere factory certified location about 15 miles from the school who can do anything that does need to be done by John Deere.
Trustee Sidhu?
Do we have any tractors previously, or is this like the first time we're doing this?
No, we have other farm equipment, including tractors on site. This has some additional things that it can do to provide that experience and opportunity for students in association with the crops that they're planting and harvesting and taking care of.
And the students that are driving the tractors, is there a special license or permit required, or is it like supervision?
There's supervision. I'm not aware of a specific license, but definitely on the farm and operated under supervision of staff.
Okay.
Do I have a motion on the item?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Creel, second by Trustee Kerfong. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. We move on to item number 12, adopt resolution 2425-60, authorizing application for the City of Fresno Home ARP Supportive Services Grant. Dr. Lopez.
So I'm very excited to present this item to you guys today. As you may know, we received the City of Fresno HUD grant last year to provide housing assistance to members in our community. Through that process, we've been collecting data to analyze the need in our community. And what we're realizing is many of our parents choose to pay the rent over utilities because obviously they don't want to lose out on their home. So we realized that we needed to pursue grants that help us cover the cost for utilities for our families. So we noticed that the City of Fresno had issued the Notice of Funding Available NOFA for the Home American Rescue Plan. And we applied. Thank you so much, Dr. O'Brien. She gave us her blessings and support from staff, including Serena Dohe. So thank you, Serena. We completed the application process, submitted that, and we just got great news today. We got $75,000 to help our community to meet some of those needs. So it is very exciting to announce. So I am here in front of you for you to be able to accept this resolution, as well as allow me to be the authorized signature for the grant since I signed for that grant. That is why we're presenting this to you today.
Thank you. Question or comments from the board? Trustee Chavez?
What are the specific parameters around the usage of these funds? Have they given out the specifics yet?
Yes, so we are looking at individuals that are behind at least 2 payments, PG&E, water bills. So what we are doing is collecting some more information from the City of Fresno now that we received the grants to understand more of the parameters. However, what I can tell you is when we tried modifying the City of Fresno HUD grant that we received, it is tougher to try to provide some of that assistance as a school district. We're one of the actually the only school district that holds those, has received that grant, because we have to go through a consortium of care and entry system, which is very hard to do. We have to collaborate with other entities outside of our district, and that can take up to 2 hours just to do an entry. So with this grant, we don't have to do that, but there is different requirements. So we are looking into the training.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, with the continuum of care, you don't actually have to input your information? Nice. Into
No,
HMIS,
we collaborate.
you're not a
we
person.
collaborate with Poverello House.
Okay.
They're incredible partners with us, so we ensure that our parents have access to them, whether we have to drive a parent out there to ensure that they enter them in the system.
So what I'd like to see, just moving forward, specifically since this is new, and congratulations, because I know these are hard to come by. So I think it would be really helpful for us to use this as an opportunity to see if this boilerplate language that we use for the application can then be applied to some of these future grants, because if you've been successful here, the likelihood of you being successful in future grants is just going to build that momentum. So if we could have a report back as far as how the progress, because we want to do a good job, because then obviously we'll go for other NOFAs and other RFPs and other opportunities. So this is from the City of Fresno, but I'm assuming the County of Fresno probably has additional funds potentially, and so we can explore. And this is, again, going back to the foundation and how we can start to look at our membership and some of these things, because that's how those opportunities become available to us. So again, congratulations. I just will always want to see us tie it back, because if we could really collectively start to organize this, we can pick up some momentum. This is such a unique opportunity for our families. So thank you so much for pursuing that, and thank you, Dr. O'Brien, for your support.
So know that we share the sentiment. So we did. We looked at the prior application we submitted to the City of Fresno and utilized that to support us with this grant. Know that there's more grants coming forward. We're waiting to hear more about others that we've applied for. So.
Thank you. Trustee Correa?
I just want to echo what's already been shared and just to really thank administration, because I know that many of us on the board have been asking for different ways to support, and your position is one that we approved a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. And so thank you for the work that you're doing and the collaboration with other administrators and our leadership for supporting you in that. Our community appreciates that.
Trustee Kirfan?
Thank you, President Singh, and thank you to the administration for applying for this grant. Students are learn better when they are safe at home, when the lights are on, and when they have a full belly. So last year when we applied for the first grant that was specifically for rental assistance and I think vouchers for hotels, what did we fully expend those funds?
So we've gone an extension because what we've noticed is the majority of the grants were to cover housing, but what we realized is many of our housing needs were stemming from parents going through the whole 6 to 8 month process of eviction. So then in reality, the need was to cover past due bills so they could pay the rent and stay in the homes. So then we modified the actual grant with the help of Erika from the City of Fresno. She's been amazing. And we were able, and Serena supported with that shift as well. So we could actually pay bills and get our families out of that debt so they can have their lights on and ensure that they stay in their homes. So because of that data, then we decided to pursue this other grant. We still have the vouchers with the HUD grant right now for hotel vouchers. And we still have rental assistance, as well as we implemented a new component of it, which is if you feel you can get into a home, you can show us proof that you're employed. We will pay for your first the down payment into an apartment, as well as your first month's rent.
Thank you. So we still have these funding. With this second grant, are we then rolling over those old funds into this new grant, or are we keeping in two separate buckets?
We would like to focus the HUD grant for housing needs and the vouchers for the hotels. And we are choosing to utilize this one for the emergency utility assistance component.
And with the current economic and political climate, are those vouchers in danger of being taken back by the Department of HUD? If we don't spend them by a certain time?
I am not fully aware. I try to keep up with the political part of it because I know it impacts us. I did read something about it, but I am not fully aware of it yet.
I know the housing department in Fresno is facing a pretty big budget cut from the federal government, so we may want to look into if these are expiring, and if they're expiring, make sure that we spend that money so we can serve our constituents and our families.
So in advance of that, I know I held a meeting with Mark Batty, Director of Housing, as well as with Joe, from Director of Health Services for County, and we're looking at how do we become proactive before anything affects our districts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Trustee Chavez?
So, Dr. Lopez, I just want to make sure, are we members of the continuum of care? Do we pay our membership and we actually go to the meetings?
Yes.
Okay. Because that is going to be one of the best places for us to get the HUD updates, because obviously they have an interest in keeping us informed. So I have a close working relationship with Katie Wilbur from RH Community Builders, as well as Laura Moreno, and she is our chairperson of the Continuum of Care. So should there ever be a need of, we need to have a collaboration even closer with them, let me know, because I know that funding environment can be volatile and very unpredictable, but the Continuum of Care is going to help keep us on that right page. So as long as you guys are attending those meetings, I think they're going to forewarn us if we are going to have any of that funding pulled, or I would hope that they would. So I'm glad to hear that you're participating in that. And please let me know if you need any support at all. I'd love to step in and help if I can.
Thank you. It's me and Maisie Young. We take turns attending.
And just, Dr. Lopez, just so I know you and I have discussed it before, do we currently have hotel vouchers on file if we need them?
Yes, and we made sure that everyone was retrained around the holiday seasons. Our FOLs understand that we have a system of support. Reach out to Nora or Maisie, and if it's in the weekend, reach out to, everyone has my cell phone now. It's like we don't want a family to go without housing if that is what they need during the weekend.
Thank you. Do I have a motion on this item?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Kerfan,
Second.
second by Trustee Carrillo. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 7-0. We move on to item number 13, approve LCSSP grant funding restorative PBIS training. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Lopez.
So again, another exciting grant that we received. So we had applied, thank you to Cassie Smith, our Supervisor of Climate, Culture, and Safety. We presented this to you guys as we received the GAN letter for $2 million in support of climate and culture initiatives. Our focus as a district has been to strengthen Tier 1 supports, because if we have really good Tier 1 supports, then those are preventative to escalating issues with safety as well as issues relating to the climate and culture of our district. So with this grant comes multiple support staff that we're able to acquire, but one of the components is training. As we know, fidelity of implementation is so important in our districts. If we don't provide the appropriate training to ensure those systems, PBIS matrices are happening, and they are followed with fidelity, then there's no sense in having any support staff, right? So the focus of this specific item coming to you for your approval is for us to be able to hire. We were able to look at PBIS trainers in our surrounding districts that embed culturally relevant restorative practices, because we feel like you can create great systems that tackle Tier 1 supports for kids, but if we're not being culturally relevant as well as understanding the importance of restoring relationships, then there's no point. There's only one vendor we were able to find that implements the two, PBIS as well as restorative, culturally relevant kind of curriculum. So we would like to move forward with having her do some of the training starting next year, which includes administrative cohorts for leaders that will be carrying out this work, as well as teacher training at the beginning of the school year, so we're all at the same level when we open the year, and knowledge of the vision for our district. And that is what you have in front of you tonight. Administration, I would like us to move forward with recommending the board to adopt. I'm sorry, that was a resolution. For us to move forward with being able to hire this specific vendor to do these trainings.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board? Trustee Carrillo.
How do we ensure, after we provide training to the point that you made, that there is fidelity in the support systems that we put in place? We heard earlier during public comment, which is always very concerning to me personally, pulling students out of a class because they're disruptive and not correcting the behavior, and essentially what I perceive as ponding them to another classroom and not addressing those behaviors doesn't help the student. So how do we ensure then that this training is effective and useful? Otherwise, great, we have $2 million to provide this training, and we still keep this ideology of we need additional support systems, we need a system that which pulls the student out of the class, and it's someone else's responsibility to correct that behavior.
So something we are looking into is the idea of the mind shift, right? Growth mindset requires research proven 3 to 5 years. You can't change something overnight. So the idea is that we look at a 5-year plan for our district, because what you just mentioned is one specific topic amongst many that we need to start looking into. How do we provide strong Tier 1 supports with appropriate training, follow through with fidelity of implementation, and being able to look at progress over time? So we are looking at 2 items just to open the year. We are looking at the matrix that this individual is able to bring forward, the PBIS matrix with those restorative approaches embedded into the PBIS framework that we currently do not have, being able to use that measurement for year one around, do we have these processes in place at all our schools? Being able to take beginning of the year data on that matrix and close the year with where we are for those cohorts. We are looking to start with a total of 6 cohorts and being able to see their progress for year one. But besides that matrix data on restorative approaches, we also want to look at fidelity of implementation. And in order for us to do that, we would like to look at panorama questions. We already examined some questions that can target the fidelity of implementation for teachers that are part of that cohort.
Dr. O'Brien?
Thank you, Trustee Correa, for bringing up that important point. We talk about MTSS all the time, multi-tiers of systems and support. It's so important that we integrate a lot of these kinds of trainings in our district so that when we walk into a classroom, we can see that our teachers are being successful on tier 1, that there are systems in place that we're monitoring, whether it's behavior systems or even systems of learning. MTSS applies to instruction also. And I just want to, piggyback on what Dr. Lopez is saying, because I think it's so important that if we can really strengthen the tier 1 processes across the classrooms in our district, we won't have the situations where we have students who need tier 2 services. And even when we do, they will be able to address those within the context of the teacher and other support staff, helping the teacher to also implement tier 2 within the classroom. Really, a tier 3 service is when all other efforts have not been successful. And that's when we start exploring other options, but that really should not occur very often. So I feel, I see we have a lot of MTSS systems in place. This is just one of them. But thank you for noticing that, because I think it's very important that we strengthen our tier 1 systems across the district. It helps us not over-identify students into a number of other programs where they actually, frankly, don't belong.
Thank you. If there's consensus from the board, I would like to request that at an appropriate time, we get a report during a workshop, because I think it's also important for us as a board to understand and hold you all accountable to make sure that then we're providing continuous support to our teachers and all of our administrators to ensure that there is fidelity in what we're investing in.
I made a note as well, if it seems to be the wishes of the board, as well as obviously Trustee Chavez' desire for a report on the previous item. Do we have a motion on this item? Or do we have any other questions? Yeah, Trustee Sellers.
Thank you. Dr. Lopez, do we currently have any PBI's training in the district already?
We do, provided by Cassie Smith, and this is something some of those components started this year. Because as I came in during the summer, I met with Cassie Smith, our supervisor of climate, culture, and safety, as well as Julie, at that time, director of special education. And we realized that when we don't meet needs at level 1, multi-tier systems of support, academic both, and social emotional, then we start noticing a higher demand for assessments for kids into special education classrooms. So the idea was for us to build capacity. A year 1, what you need to focus on is on building capacity, because then that's when you know that there's gaps within our system, and just knowing the basics around assessments, meeting students' needs at tier 1. So then that provided opportunities for Cassie to do trainings for both Think-Read staff, intervention counselors, intervention specialists, all monthly, on the monthly basis, with the focus on how do we build our capacity to meet tier 1 needs at the site, but also tier 2 and tier 3. What we realized through this framework is that we need an actual professional that can come and help us with more of the restorative and climate, culture related to culturally relevant supports in our district. And what we want is we want a professional to come and support us through that, because we want it to be meaningful, and we want to be able to also receive tools from that professional that can help us measure growth And that is what we were lacking. So this professional comes with that, the matrix ready to go for us to be able to explore, okay, here's the training. She literally has modules of trainings that she's going to use with our leaders, but also with the cohort of teachers and staff that want to volunteer to do that. And we're able to now track the impact on those individuals with a panorama survey on self-efficacy and fidelity of implementation. And we're able to track the implementation of the items in the rubric at the school sites.
Okay. I want to confirm that we're looking to enhance our current, not replace what we're doing.
That is correct, enhance.
On the slideshow here, I was looking at the goals for year one implementation. We're looking to hopefully get a 3.5% increase on the panorama survey. Is that an average, or are we looking at a 3.5, hoping to have a 3.5% minimum at each site that we're doing this?
At each of the cohorted sites, because they're going to get the intense training,
Okay.
including the leaders.
Okay.
And what I'm hopeful is we right now have high interest. So it's exciting to see that people want to do this work. So that tells you it's not that when we hear that things are lacking, that doesn't mean people don't want to do it. It just means that possibly we have not provided the opportunity for them to learn.
Okay, I appreciate that, having it at each site instead of a across-the-board average where some are really successful can throw off the, that balance out that's not really as effective. My last question is, those first few cohorts that we're looking to establish, is there groups that we're looking to prioritize, or is this all variety of administrators and other support staff, or are we primarily focusing on in the classroom?
So we were looking at data for our district around the panorama data according to parents and student responses as well as staff responses. We were also looking at suspension rates at some of the middle school, secondary sites specifically because we notice that they go higher as they are in middle school and high school. However, what we want is we want to see what interest comes in first, analyze, because obviously if people want to do it, they'll be more willing to be able to be part of the work along with us. And once those names come in, which I'm just going to tell you, some of the school sites that we were looking based on data are showing interest. So we'll be able to tell you a little more details once we get to see the full list of people that want to come forward.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have a motion on said item?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Trustee Kerfan.
Second.
Second by Trustee Carrillo. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 7-0. Move on to item number 14, approve student wellness contracts. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Lopez.
So this week is my turn to bring my items forward to you. So I will have now the full set of wellness contracts for our special education department. And as a reminder, these are contracts that we currently have this year, so we just need them to be approved for the following year, not to close this year. So as you see in front of you, we have the CYS contract, which provides crisis intervention services, community outreach, as well as individual and small group instruction support, SEL support. We specifically focus on our Tier 3. So some of our students in this cohort of support include class, as well as, I believe, pathway and Pershing. But then also within our system, when we identify our social emotional team, our SAFE team, social workers have already gotten to their level of support, then we use them to provide services to Tier 3 within our district that do not have Medi-Cal. So it's individuals that are not covered under All for Youth and those other platforms that we use. HANA interpreting services are required by IEP document translation, so we use them. Metamorphosis Therapy Group is another provided for IEP services under ERMS. The TALK team, under IEP, we identify speech services, additional coverage for employee speech services when they are out on leave, especially it helps us cover absences. The speech therapy link occupational therapy is another vendor that we use. It's hard to find staffing, so we utilize two when we can find it through one. Paradigm Healthcare supports the district by preparing and submitting all Medi-Cal claims for reimbursement to the district. Our psychologists use these platforms to submit for reimbursement. Emerges Maximum Healthcare Staffing Services provides additional support to fulfill the paraprofessional needs, and that's one that I brought to you guys earlier. The financial impacts have been added to this item as well. So administration is recommending that the board approve student wellness contracts for the upcoming year. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Trustee Chavez?
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for including the sole source. I'm kind of a stickler for that, and I really appreciate the attention to detail, so it really helped me. Thank you.
Trustee Sellers?
Real quick, the Paradigm Healthcare that we bill for Medi-Cal claims, does the district bill for any other services to bill Medi-Cal?
So we were really hopeful in starting something this year with FCSS, which was the use of our intervention counselors, intervention specialists to be able to bill for services that they provide. I believe I presented that to the board. However, there's been some setbacks and they're putting things on hold at that level. So the last we heard was that they were attempting to do it with smaller counties and a trial kind of basis. Our staff has been trained. We're ready to go, but that is another one that we're waiting on to hopefully be able to bill for services.
Thank you.
No other questions? Do I have a motion on said item?
I move to approve the student wellness contracts presented.
We have a motion by Trustee Creel.
Second.
Second by Trustee Sellers. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining. Motion carries 7-0. We move on to the last item on our action items for tonight. Approve summer program vendor contracts. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Lopez.
So in order to run effective programs, we collaborate with entities in our community. One of them is the Fresno State Community-Based Learning. We were able to use some of these services during the spring and winter camps. However, they were only 1 week, so they didn't exceed the amount that I needed board approval for. Since this, we're looking at a 2-week program now during the summer where we're going to offer some of these options. Some of them do exceed the 50,000 threshold. So Fresno State Community-Based Learning, this contract is to provide the 2-week summer session enrichment camp experiences. One session is on our site with 100 students, and the other is at Fresno State University for 90 students. The second contract also includes meals for students in the student dining hall, so they get to have that experience of eating at Fresno State, and it's a full-day camp. The Emerges contract, as you already know, we open our district, our services during the summer, spring, and winter to all students, regardless of background, regarding of disability. So Emerges helps us cover for that Tier 3, Para 3 support, so we can include kiddos in our FLS programs and our RSB programs. And that's why you'll see them in our pictures. They're engaging along with the rest of our kids. So they help fulfill that paraprofessional needs during the summer. The California Teaching Fellows Foundation is to support staffing for the 4-week, so they extend outside of the 2-week in June. They also provide staffing in the July sessions, and in that contract, you will also see our students getting paid. We are rehiring our kids in the Teaching Pathway program to be para support in the program, and in addition, we're also adding the Justin Garza culinary art students who will be helping teach the culinary class during the summer program. The financial impact is about $132,000 for Fresno State, Emerges $192 for the staffing. California Teaching Fellows is the largest since it covers the 4 weeks, and that's $410. And administration is recommending the board approve summer program vendor contracts.
Questions or comments? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Kerfan. Second by Trustee Chavez. Oh, Kirk, sorry. Closer to my ear. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those abstaining, motion carries 7-0. Thank you. We move on to this evening's information items. Item number 1, receive information regarding 2025-2026 Deferred Maintenance Plan. Director Bott.
Good evening again, board members. Okay. So in an effort to keep our school sites in good repair, the maintenance department has been working on our deferred maintenance list. Annually, we bring this back for review and approval. And tonight, I'm going to be going through a quick presentation and then I'll be going over this past year's deferred maintenance plan and our upcoming deferred maintenance plan for next school year. So just a little bit of background of what the deferred maintenance projects are and what we're doing. So what defines deferred maintenance projects are they're maintenance projects that are not regular and routine maintenance. They are usually classified as a major repair or replacement. And a big change to earlier this year is some projects will require DSA review and an architect to design the repair. Last year that was usually do not, but DSA has made some updates and now more items are going to be falling in their purview, and we will need to make sure that we follow the correct steps. So some of the areas of deferred maintenance, we have roof repairs, flooring, HVAC, parking lots, play courts, furniture, electrical, plumbing, and hazard abatement. One other area I want to talk about is our routine restricted maintenance. This is our ongoing maintenance, which is done daily through the work order system and our in-house staff of our maintenance department. Through the routine restricted maintenance, we do cover some of these issues that are listed above. They are typically single in failures, so we have one unit that goes down or we have one floor that needs to be replaced. So our process to get to our deferred maintenance list is we conduct assessments of the school sites, we update the list of projects and set up priorities, and we implement a multi-year plan. So for the 25-26 school year, we are looking at a $2 million budget. We will set aside $1.7 million in budgeted projects. We will save $300,000 for reserved for any emergency repairs that might need to be done during the school year. Sorry, a little small. So I'm going to go over really quickly some of the projects that were completed this year that the board had approved at a previous board meeting. We got some of the flooring replaced at some of the kitchens like Central and Teague. We replaced carpets at the Madison portables. We updated some of our restroom partitions and at Teague and Rio Vista. And we replaced a fire alarm, which was an emergency repair that the board approved. We also repaired the track, and we have another item, which was an emergency, which was the Steinbach Elementary playground, the kinder playground that we're in the process. Additional to those projects, we had 3 other projects that were funded through the preschool fund, which was the preschool project replacements and adding of a shade structure at Biola, Hernan Barstow, and at Teague Elementary. And for next year, we are, this is our plan. We are looking to continue with roof repairs at Pershing Elementary, or Pershing Continuation, and at Central East High School. We are looking to round out and finish up our security upgrades at Pershing and Harvest Elementary. We are going to finish the HVAC install at Roosevelt Elementary, and we're going to replace, we have some flooring left to replace at Liddell Elementary that we did not finish up in a previous year. The preschool department has worked with us. They have an additional, I believe it's a grant and some funding available to do another preschool play structure, and that one is Madison Elementary, and we are currently working on that and getting it ready to come to board for approval. Just really quickly, Pershing and Harvest Elementary were previously updated prior to us implementing the deferred maintenance plan. From that time to about 2 years ago, we really changed on how we do our cameras, additional storage. So Harvest and Pershing are the last 2 sites, even though they were upgraded to newer cameras and the new viewing software, they don't have the same level as the other sites. So we're bringing those up to the rest of the district standards. Before we get to the questions, I just want to highlight a couple more things. In addition to our deferred maintenance and our routine restricted, throughout this school year, the board has approved other projects, and I just want to highlight a couple of them. At Central East and at Central High School, the board approved the gym floors to be redone. Central High School is done, and it looks really, really good. I will get you guys a picture on our Friday report. It looks, I'm really, really, really happy with the way it came out. Central High School also got the interior painting done by Mr. Rodriguez's department. They repainted the interior of that gym. The music room got remodeled by the maintenance department, and the weight room, wrestling room, and the foyer in the gym also got repainted by the maintenance department. So those are just some additional stuff we did this year to get Central High School and Central East ready for next school year. There's a couple other attachments. I put the reference sheets for roofs, HVAC, and all the other areas for you to review. It basically lists the projects, and like I had previously stated, it does not include one-off projects of single rooms or anything that we have done throughout the school during our time. This is more larger projects that we did multiple areas. Also, you'll have the additional 2 years. We do go out 3 years for our deferred maintenance to try to plan out areas. I'm trying to cycle through, and hopefully next year I'm able to get some schools painted, keep on replacing flooring, also replace some PA systems that need to be done, and HVAC at some of the schools that have not been done. Administration is recommending this item be placed for action at the next board meeting after I answer any questions the board may have.
Trustee Kerfon?
Thank you, President Singh. Thank you for the presentation. I would have liked to see the Central High Gym on here, just so we can see how much that cost. Do we know how much the redoing the gym cost the district?
I don't have the exact number. I can get that to you. I can give you an approximation.
Sure.
I believe it was right around 100 and, let me just get back to you. It's not on top of my head.
Sure. But so did that come out of the $2 million deferred maintenance bucket? No. Okay. And I see that we added on here the Steinbeck Elementary Playground. Mm-hmm. When we previously discussed this item, we felt that we were going to potentially go over that $2 million for that project. But now it seems that we are under. So how did we make that happen?
Throughout the year, we have approximations on prices. As the year goes, I update the plan with actual costs as we go through. And as I got to the end of the year, our numbers came in where I had actual numbers of every dollar and penny that we spent. And that's where it got to 1.9 million. I will say with Steinbeck, that is going to be happening soon. We are getting ready. I know the contractor is working to get our window in with DSA, and we'll keep providing updates as that project gets going.
Okay, thank you, because the presentation also says that it's completed in June.
Yeah, the push is to get it done in June. We are trying everything we can to do that. So I'll have more information on that.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Creel?
So thank you for your work on this. I know that this is something that I'm excited to see that we're actually planning.
Yep.
And that the board is allocating. So is the $2 million enough?
It's never enough, but we have to start somewhere. And as I previously mentioned at the very first board meeting where I presented the plan, the biggest thing is to continue. As long as we keep going and we keep doing this every year, we will chip away at it and we will start seeing some real fruit of our labor. Right now, I'll be honest, it's a little bit like the floodgates, and we opened them and we're trying to organize them and prioritize them. But as we go through this process, it's also allowing us to look at this and say, okay, we got to kind of stick to a cycle. We need to do roof repairs. We need to start getting our schools painted. We need to do HVAC. And then, if I'm not able to do one thing one year, go into next year, have that ready and try to do that and just have that plan. This really does help us as we go through our year to see what comes up, what doesn't come up, because if we're able to take care of something sooner, obviously we don't have to worry about it. But it just gives us a good 3-year map. Obviously, it's not set in stone. Things change. I could go to work tomorrow and we could unfortunately have a huge failure somewhere and got to change. But, we do our best to plan.
Dr. O'Brien?
Yeah, I'd like to mention that, we have a duty to be good stewards of our facilities to our community. Our community, after all, supports us with school bonds and property taxes and things like that. And so I appreciate your question, because probably $2 million is not enough. And I think we do have to continue to evaluate that figure every year, because our facilities monetarily are our biggest asset in the district. and it behooves us to take care of them. And the more we do, the longer they'll last, and the more our community can continue to enjoy them also. So I want to compliment Mr. Bath, but also Assistant Superintendent Mr. Iqbal, who made sure that we put that deferred maintenance plan into place, because we definitely need to take care of our facilities.
Trustee Correa?
Sorry, and what I was going to say is, then I think in the future, what I would like to hear and make sure that this board is asking is, what additional recommendations for that funding? What recommendations, and then what we can actually allocate, so that as we're making decisions and allocating funds, ultimately that's the authority that we have as a board to increase that pot of money and to make sure that we are giving you sufficient funds to keep up with our buildings. And I know that this is new, so I'm glad that we're being, again, proactive. But I do want to make sure that we're having that conversation, that we don't just get stuck and we allocated $2 million and we're not revisiting that, and you're just saying, I'm thankful for the $2 million that the board has allocated. Yeah. If you want to give me more, great, but I would say my expectation would be that I'm looking for guidance and recommendations to say, how much more do we need to be at a point where now we're just keeping up, understanding that there may be situations where we have emergencies, and that's what the fund is there for as well, but also just maintaining our buildings, our facilities. Thanks.
Trustee Chavez, sorry, Assistant Superintendent Iqbal, did you want to share something on this?
Just a quick remark. We should think about, and I'm going to talk to Mr. Bath about it, is we should think about a plan to paint our campuses, at least one campus a year. And that way, the campus stays new, looks fresh. We haven't had a program like that, but I'm working on it, because when we had the price for the Central High School, I was also surprised. It was like $230,000. Yep. If we can paint a campus for $230,000, then every year we should choose one campus and paint it using deferred maintenance. We can allocate a little bit of money, because this is one thing that with the campus stays fresh, clean, and looks new. So that's something we're going to think out and bring it to the board.
So I just want to make sure that you feel empowered to bring those recommendations. And I'm sure I'm not alone when I say that is our expectation. I'm not here to do your job, but I do want to hear how can we better improve, and then we can collectively make that decision and have that discussion of where we're going to be allocating that money from, and where we're prioritizing the use of our funds.
Trustee Chavez and then Trustee Kerfan.
So I feel like a broken record tonight. So this is what I'm talking about, us looking more closely at our grant funds. And again, I know it's like really outside of what we considered for our foundation, but as we move forward, the $2 million isn't enough. I have personally written grants for capital outlay. And so that is a thing. There are alternative sources. And so if we could be thoughtful and strategic of how we maximize our staff members who are seeking new opportunities, I think that really, given our budget constraints as we move forward, I can already imagine the grant language to create, because basically the deferred maintenance and Interim Superintendent O'Brien, you have said it, that our community deserves to have facilities and schools that reflect the pride that we have within our district. And so I think that we really, as a board, need to start exploring how do we get you those additional funds, and how do we look within the district for the expertise in order for us to help enhance our fundraising abilities, for us to bring in those funds that maybe could bridge that gap of where the funding is coming from.
Thank you. Trustee Kerfan?
I actually want to thank Assistant Superintendent Iqbal, because my next question was going to be about painting, so I like where your head's at. And that would be a very bold idea for Central Unified to have this kind of master schedule for painting. Director Bath, because I didn't see any paint jobs scheduled for this school year. Do we have a cost estimate for how much it would cost to repaint a school?
So I was talking to Mr. Rodriguez, because that's one of my things also. I've heard it, and, I've been here for 11 years and I've seen it, that's a big thing for me. I want to try to do that. We really didn't have an estimate, and so it was hard to kind of schedule that. We had priorities with roofing and some other stuff come up before the painting. But when I saw the bid myself, I was talking to Mr. Rodriguez last week, and I saw that price come in. I said, this is something we definitely can budget for and try to get done during the school year. We are holding back some funds. That could be somewhere. What I'm trying to do with the deferred maintenance plan is bring it to you guys sooner so we can look at it. And then, the reality is come January, December, we need to make a decision with those funds to the full $2 million, because we need to start planning. If we still hold some back, that's great, but things do take longer. So that would be the time I can also revisit that.
Thank you. So do we have a cost estimate for like a ballpark or how much it would cost?
Yeah, I would say right around 250.
250?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And it's a little dependent on the dry rot, so I'll just say that we always want to be a little bit just mindful of, depending on what site it is. There could be some additional costs, not really painting, but, secondary or other unforeseen costs.
Thank you.
Dr. O'Brien?
I just want to also remind us all that we have our facilities subcommittee, which is a great place to have these lengthy conversations around what both of our other trustees were saying around evaluating if we need to set aside other funds for deferred maintenance. And as Director Bath also said, when we're doing, projects like painting, such as what happens out at Central High School, that's when you discover other situations such as dry rot and things like that. But by addressing it every year, it helps us to stay on top of that. So, I happened to attend a facilities subcommittee recently, and it's a great place for us to really pay attention to all of these projects. And then also to take all of that information to a facilities workshop, which we really should be hosting every year, so that all members of the board then are brought up to speed on. It's quite a long discussion to talk about all of the facilities in the district. So a workshop is really where we need to do that.
Thank you, Director Bach. Just for the benefit of our other board members, so the idea around the deferred maintenance actually really came literally just last year from the board. It wasn't something we were regularly doing. There were bits and funds, as Director Bach was sharing, which was much more ad hoc as sort of needed. So it was really just last year for the first time where the board really pushed actually to allocate. So they're developing the muscle to be able to make sure they can expend the money. Obviously, they're happy to do more, but it'll probably be a little bit more gradual so that they have the internal abilities to put the checks into place to make sure that things are happening at the highest level. The only reason I'm going to ask for this not to come onto consent, Director Bata, is I had offered it last time, but I have a fantastic Excel template just to make this visually a lot better for you. So I'd like to just offer that, and just so it can all be in one place and visually a lot easier to understand. I'm happy to share. It's just an Excel template for it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, this information is however I can make it easier for everybody to understand it. Just we can provide it anyway.
Thank you, and that will return under action at the next board meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, receive information regarding 95% group. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Boatwright.
Thank you. So the 95 Core Phonics program will be implemented as supplementary early literacy curriculum for Tier 1 instruction in all kindergarten through second grade classrooms starting in the fall. The Tier 2 program, which addresses more intensive literacy needs, will be implemented in kindergarten through 6th grade RSP classrooms and elementary reading labs starting in the fall. So administration is recommending that this item be placed on the June 10th board agenda for action, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions or comments on this item? Trustee Sellers?
Thank you. Do we anticipate being able to see the investment of this in the panorama survey coming up? Or maybe not the panorama, just what the results of this investment?
Yes, so we will see with the formative assessments with our benchmarking system, we'll be able to measure progress. So we'll be assessing students at the start of the school year, and then mid-year, and then end of the year as well. And then also there's progress monitoring that's occurring throughout the year. And so, yes, that will be shared with you.
Okay. I know do we have an idea of what the anticipated growth that we're hoping to expect?
We're expecting a lot of growth. We can measure growth right now just based on the pilot. When we compare those teachers that have been piloting these programs, and then also we add the variable in of the teachers that have received letters training, we do see progress.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are we okay having this return under consent? Thank you, Dr. Boatwright. Number 3, receive information on expanded learning opportunities programs. Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Lopez.
This MOU with FCSS supports the running of the after-school programs and intersessions for the 25-26 academic year. Currently, what you see is $6,734,000, and what we do is we cost share. FCSS currently has the 21st Century as well as asset grants that they receive, so that helps pay for a lot of the staffing to run the programs. However, every year we have to use expanded learning opportunity grant funds to help fulfill the remaining need. Last year, as you may know, we made a decision to move forward with offering after-school programs to all in our community. So our numbers went from 1,700 students that attended these programs to now 3,800 students. So it's great to see the engagement and the fact that our kids are able to attend these programs with no barriers. However, that increases the contribution that we have to provide for staffing and for the experiences. So administration is recommending this item be placed on the June 10th board agenda for action. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions or comments from the board? Are we okay having this return under consent? Thank you. We move on to item number 4, receive information regarding Resolution 2425-58 in support of the applications for eligibility, determination, and funding designation of authorized district representatives. Assistant Superintendent Iqbal.
So this is a resolution allows myself to sign documents on behalf of district on any state facility program. So administration is recommending this item be placed on June 10th, 2025 board agenda for action.
Questions or comments on this item? Then we'll have this return under consent as well. Oh, it must come under action? Yeah. Okay, thank you. We move to item number 5, receive information regarding public hearing and adoption of the 2025-2026 proposed budget. Assistant Superintendent Iqbal.
This is a placeholder for the fiscal year 2025-26 budget that will be presented in the next board meeting.
No other questions. We will have this return under action for the public hearing. Item number 6, receive information regarding Resolution 2425-57, dedication of easements to PG&E for the development of safe routes to school for McKinley Elementary School, APN 312-180-53T portion. Director Rodriguez.
Thank you again, Board President, Board of Trustees, and Interim Superintendent Dr. O'Brien. Attached for your information is the Board Resolution 2425-57 for the dedication of easement to PG&E in connection with the development of the City of Fresno's Safe Routes to School project. The resolution contains an easement deed pursuant to Ed Code 17556, where this easement will allow PG&E to move an existing power pole in order for the City of Fresno to provide sidewalks along McKinley Avenue. Currently, the pole is in conflict with the proposed sidewalk alignment. Administration is recommending that this item be placed on the June 10th, 2025 board agenda for public hearing and action. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have on this item.
Questions or comments from the board? If none, we'll have this return under action for the public hearing, as well as the action. Item number 7, receive information regarding construction testing and inspection services for Justin Garza High School Visual and Performing Arts Project. Director Rodriguez.
Thank you again, Board President, Board of Trustees, and Interim Superintendent Dr. O'Brien. For your information tonight, the district has received a proposal for material and testing and laboratory services that are required pursuant to the California Building Code for Justin Garza's High School's Visual and Performing Arts Project from Krazan Associates. Krazan Associates has previously provided geotechnical engineering services for this project as well as multiple district projects and is knowledgeable about our facilities. Administration is recommending that this item be placed on the June 10th, 2025 board agenda for approval. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have on this item.
Trustee Kirk?
Just because I've been asked by some folks, do we have an expectation of when the VOP building is going to be ready for our students to use?
So we plan on issuing a notice to proceed June 23rd of 2025. So I'm guesstimating around 2 years after that, so around June of 2027.
No other questions? We'll have this turn under consent. We move on to item number 8, receive information regarding change orders for bid packages SB01, just once in Colorado Elementary School. Director Rodriguez.
Thank you again, Board President. For your information tonight are change orders for the multi-prime package SB01, and the which is the off-site bid package, and the attachment to the itemized summary for Jaswat Singh Cholera Elementary School project for your review. The increase to the project is due to impacts implemented after this project was originally bid. Staff has reviewed and recommends this item return to the board on June 10th, 2025 board agenda for action. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have on this item.
Thank you, Director Rodriguez. Questions on this item? If none, we'll have it returned under consent as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We move on to item number 9, receive information regarding air balancing HVAC at various sites. Director Bott.
Good evening again, board members and interim superintendent. Air balance testing is being scheduled as part of our district's ongoing commitment to maintaining high-quality learning environments. Air balancing is a key part of maintaining indoor air quality and system performance after the HVAC work has been completed or modified. We will be looking at Steinbach, Soroy, Liddell, and Herndon Barstow to make sure that their systems are optimized and working correctly. The total cost of the air balancing test for the 4 school sites will be $69,950. Funds will be allocated from the general fund. Administration is recommending this item be placed on the June 10th, 2025 board meeting after I answer any questions the board may have.
Questions or comments on this item? If none, we'll have it returned under consent. Thank you. And lastly, receive information regarding Sonatrol contract. Director Bott.
Good evening, once again. In order to limit theft and vandalism, the district has intrusion alarms at every single one of our sites. On September 12th, 2023, the board adopted a resolution 2324-07, which found the district's use of Sonatrol products and services could only be provided by Kimber Light Corporation and entered into a sole source procurement contract. On September 12th, 2023, the board approved a 2-year contract. That contract will expire on August 10th, 2025. This item is a placeholder, and I'll be bringing that contract back to the board at a later time. I do want to just provide some background really quick. This contract with Sonatrol that we signed for 2 years, we did lock in a 0% increase over those 2 years, so we were locked in. So for the next, either we'll get a couple options, and I'll bring that forward with the increase to get the board's approval. I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have and recommend this item be placed at a future board meeting.
How future? How much time do you think?
So we got the contract back. Me and Mr. Iqbal are going through it, Assistant Superintendent Iqbal, to just make sure everything matches and the funding is right. I'm hoping actually to have it to you by the June 10th board meeting. I just didn't want to put too much on my plate or Mr. Iqbal's Assistant Superintendent Iqbal's plate to get that to you, but I do believe we should be able to.
Would you like it for action at that meeting or for information again?
Action, so you can see the item and if any questions, I can answer them.
Any questions right now on this item? Trustee Correa?
Is that going to include our new elementary school?
Yes, I believe, I did double check that. I got the contract and I didn't look, but my goal is to have everything included, even if we're not going to be charged right off the bat July 1.
Because I believe the last 2-year contract, we had to amend it to include.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the last 2-year contract, we amended it probably at least once, if not twice, for the addition of Justin Garza High School's aquatics. So this contract will more than likely have to amend it for the VAP building once it does come online.
Do we anticipate it's going to be another 2-year contract or?
They have preliminary have given a 3 or a 5-year option. And that's
Okay.
what me and Assistant Superintendent Iqbal will look at.
Which would then put us at the June 2027 that I heard mentioned. And I'm sure some of us will remember that date. Okay, thank you.
We'll have it return under action.
Thank you.
Next, we move to advanced planning. Oh, Trustee Kirk.
Thank you, President Singh. I would like for the board to review Board Policy 5127 regarding graduation ceremonies and activities. I would
Could
like
you
for
repeat the number again? I
Yes,
apologize.
I'm sorry, 5127. Graduation ceremonies and activities, specifically regarding graduation attire, to allow for consideration for the students who received associate's degrees from Fresno City College and any of our institutions moving forward, that be allowed as part of their graduation regalia.
Great suggestion. We will definitely follow up on that item. Trustee Creel?
When's our first graduation? And do we have a list where I can see all of them and not have to look for each one of them?
The first graduation would be June 9th.
Okay.
We are in the middle of preparing a document that will have times, parking spots, maps, all things needed for graduation. So
Yeah.
we'll make sure you have all that information.
Trustee
Very,
Kirk, you know what I'm thinking.
She's smiling at me because there is a 14-day, is that what you're talking about? A 14-day requirement? I think we're just getting up close to that.
Okay.
Got it. I didn't know that. We'll make sure you have it.
Okay.
We're just talking about it today.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other items to bring up during advanced planning? Not any additional information and closing comments? And with that, as a reminder, the next regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of Central Unified will be held on Tuesday, June 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. for closed session, 7 p.m. for public, here at the District Office Room 13. And with that, we will re-adjourn back to closed session. Thank you.